So, like I was saying, all you need to do is buy one of these, and you can write anyone's name in here, and they should drop dead if you don't write a cause of death in a time. So, take for instance, if I sit here and write
Oh
Bill
shit!
Snowblin, and hopefully he'll die. Oh, hi.
We don't want Bill Schnoblin to find that out. He thinks
No,
the Wiccans are all nice and peaceful, and other
I don't know.
sorts.
Bill Schnoblin. Bill Schnoblin has eyes and ears everywhere because he was everywhere. So you gotta be careful.
Exactly.
I may be haunted now by Christians everywhere. I may die.
Even worse than you were before.
Yeah, I know. All right, fine.
So hey Dorian, I got oh yeah, just so people know in the audience, I'm not going to turn my camera on for this episode. But Dorian, I got a question for you. So I
Yes.
heard about this law or whatever bill, some bill they're trying to pass in Canada about dueling and witchcraft. Do you know anything about that?
No. I never paid that much attention to it, in all honesty. Sorry.
That's all right. So apparently there's some kind of a bill or some kind of law that they're changing on the books. So it's okay to act like you practice witchcraft.
The only thing that I've really heard about that is the anti-blasphemy law that they're getting rid of and stuff like that. That might be it. Like they're just getting rid of these weird religious-based law. So
I think that is it. Yeah. I think that is it. Yeah. So I thought I don't know. I just thought maybe it was kind of interesting. I saw something on it. So
it hasn't really made much of a commotion here, so I haven't heard much about it. In all honesty.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you don't
so are
care
they
about it,
just? Yeah. Are they just removing it so that you can practice witchcraft in the open, or is that what it's supposed to be doing?
well, you know what? Let me look it up, and we'll find out. Since we got a little bit since we started a little early here. So
Are you
it's
talking about a death note and everything?
So it's Canada's blasphemy law repeal, I think. I think this is it. Let me see. Parliamentary e-petition opposing Canada's blasphemy law. Is that it? Let me see.
I have to say, you feel pretty fancy when you're drinking cheap-ass wine out of a little copper cup. So
Yeah, really.
We're drinking Shasta and Powerade, so you have me one-upped.
I'm drinking H2O.
well, I always like to celebrate. I always like to celebrate doing these little things. It's like a little event. It's a group of just a whole bunch of random weirdos coming together, putting their faces on the TV. So
Hey, look, people are showing up.
Yeah.
Nikki, Mo's here, Travis is here, and Nikki's here.
Oh, hello, everybody. So let me see if I can share this. And we can take a look at it. Where the hell is it? There it is. Can you see it?
no.
No.
Oh, there we go.
There it goes.
Okay. So, all right. So now you can see it. Okay. All right. So this is what it is. It's you can't pretend to practice witchcraft.
You can't
Practicing
fake it.
witchcraft is fine.
Well, I'm busted then. I'm breaking the law. Darn it. See you guys later. I'm going back to the Catholic Church.
So apparently, okay, so it says, who commits this offense? Anyone who fraudulently pretends to exercise or to use any kind of witchcraft, sorcery, enchantment, or conjuration. So necromancy apparently is okay. Or pretends from his skill, not her skill, so it's only him's, in or knowledge of an occult or crafty science. Ooh, a crafty science. That sounds fun. I wish I was into crafty science. To discover where or in what manner anything that is supposed to have been stolen or lost may be found. People are actually charged under this section more often than one might think, which is to say ever. The case comes up every few months and one is winding through the Toronto courts now. So it sounds kind of like the Fraudulent Mediums Act of 1951 in England, where they kind of like, they would bust people for, fraudulently saying that they could divine people who died, or, or spiritualism or stuff like that. So it sounds like it's supposed to prevent people from being swindled out of their money. So
that actually makes a lot of sense. So
yeah, I mean, it does. I think that's one of the reasons why, especially early on, there was this big things to, that witches could not charge for services. And I think that was one of the reasons to kind of, to sort of stay within that framework of that law. So, all righty. All right, well, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I got the video all queued up. So we're back with Chalkboard Lady.
woo.
Exactly. So we were talking earlier before the show started. If apparently she has a husband and or I don't know, maybe a friend or boyfriend or whatever, and apparently they run this channel. And so we were curious if they are married, if they look at each other when they have sex.
I don't know, because I remember watching a Christian video where this guy said the only sex act approved by God is missionary.
Mm-hmm.
He made this whole 10-minute video about how missionary is the only approved sex position by God.
And also, can you just have sex for fun, or do you have to do it for procreation?
It's only for procreation. Otherwise, it's a waste of seed, and you're killing a potential newborn.
What happens if you happen to enjoy it a little bit? Is that a sin?
I don't know. He said the sex for procreation, and that's it. But it looked like he was staying abstinent by choice, quote unquote, by choice.
I wonder if they enjoy it, like if they feel guilty.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. All right. Well, let's get into this. We'll leave their sex life alone for right now, unless she brings it up.
If she says something about sex again, she totally just opened the door.
We'll see. We'll see if we can get another meme out of her today.
Oh, we should.
Yeah. Let me fix my mic for a second here.
And while you do that, I'm gonna duck out real quick and grab the thing that just dinged in the oven so it doesn't burn.
All right. I'll wait for you. We'll wait for you to get back.
I really should pick up an 18th century dictionary just so I can keep up with her. All I can find are these god darn modern dictionaries that are corrupted by the devil.
Yeah, really. Well, I mean, I don't think language has really changed that much since the 18th century. I think we've included a lot of words. Like, you're not going to find bit in there, or bite, or scuzzy. But you'll probably find other things.
Nowadays, you even have jobs that
You went out for a second there. What?
People. Well, have jobs that no longer exist. They have definitions that are now pretty much altered. Like you'll have, about a pharmaceutical psychology deal. Back then, maybe they didn't know what the soul was, so they thought it was to do with the brain, and now it's just. So being all tongue tied here.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry, it's my Wi-Fi card. It's not as powerful as I thought it'd be.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Do you have your camera on?
Off.
Okay. Yeah, that might help. And then when Loki gets
And
back, you're back?
I'm back.
All right.
Yes, you might want to focus on yourself because when we talk, it pops up another screen. Well,
Gotcha.
our screens instead of the main.
Gotcha. Thanks. So how's that?
There we go.
All right, cool. All right, we all set?
Yep.
All righty.
Opens and also entire new wicked sodomite rights. Check out that word. What else uses right? A whole host of other cultic type of organizations. Interesting. Next, we have the Franklin Credit Union scandal and cover-up in the 1980s. I have the book right here. I've read it from cover to cover.
So what the hell does this have to do with Wicca? Or witches, or occultists, or magicians?
She says that we covered it up. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
of
we
it.
covered it up?
Yep. I'm pretty sure of it. Because we cover up everything.
We have a hell of a PR department.
I know. Shit. Why couldn't this work for my work? I mean, damn.
Why haven't we taken over the world yet and made our religion the #1 religion if we have all this ability and power and influence?
Yeah. We could have made Trump look like a freaking saint.
I thought we owned the world, though. That's why I joined.
All right, let's see what she has to say about this.
I'm not going to say much about it other than the fact that it ties in very, very well with the subject of witchcraft.
What do you mean it ties in very, very well? What the hell does that mean?
I don't know, but she's not talking about it.
He just held up the book and said, I read this book and it told me it ties in very, very well. And that's it. Okay.
In many ways. Then you have the Modern Wars drug/witch cult of 1989.
Whoops.
Which soured Wicca's public relations image. Oh, how sad.
What? What the hell did she just say? I'm going to back it up for a second.
Then you have the Modern Wars drug/witch cult of 1989, which soured Wicca's public relations image.
I didn't catch that.
Basically, she's saying something about 1989 Wicca convention that made Wicca make their public image look nice.
Okay, I'm going to back it up one more time, try and catch that.
Ways. Then you have the Modern Wars drug/witch cult of 1989, which soured Wicca's public relations image. Oh, how sad.
I don't know what the hell that is still.
Oh, okay. It was a drug and something act with a cult that claimed they were practicing witchcraft that soured our wholesome image.
Right, but I don't know what that is.
I don't either. She might elaborate. If not, we can figure out the date and then look it up.
All right.
If she elaborates, I'll quit drinking for a year.
Wow. All right. We all heard it live on YouTube.
Now, then you also have many witches have sought out Roman Catholic Church priesthood.
Why would a witch seek out a Roman Catholic priest?
I don't know.
Unless they went to church for some weird reason.
Or they need help with an exorcist.
Yeah.
Do you guys? Sorry. Do you
That's
guys
right, go
remember
ahead.
Bill Schnoebelen said that it was actually the Mormon church that was set up by the Illuminati and the satanic groups and stuff like that, not the Catholic Church?
Yep.
So shouldn't she be saying that if Bill Schnoebelen is correct, to go to a Mormon priest or whatever?
Yeah, but probably in their eyes, the Mormons and the Catholics are like You know, they're probably on par. They're probably equal. Not one is better than the other. They're both evil satanic cults.
Ah, that's
You know
correct.
what I mean? Yeah. And they already seem to have they already have their own personal agenda, because you notice they find various ways to, anytime that the Catholic Church comes up, they find some way to disparage it, calling it the whore of Babylon and other things like this. So they're always trying to give a little jab to the Catholic Church for whatever reason. They're probably ex-Catholics.
Get that for their lifelong magical learning. How about that?
Okay.
How about that?
Is there a way you can go back and get the to the whole date thing again?
Sure.
Okay.
I've read it from cover to cover, and I'm not going to say much about it other than the fact that it ties in very, very well with the subject of witchcraft in many ways. Then you have the Modern Wars Drug/Witch Cult of 1989, which soured Wicca's public relations image.
So did you catch that, Loki?
1989. Something about which
Ways. Then you have the Modern Wars Drug/Witch Cult of 1989.
So it's witch/drug cult of 1989. See if anything comes up.
Can we use Jonestown Massacre? The Christians, weren't they Christians also? Like, they're still Mormons, but they're also Christians. So
Yeah, I think the Jonestown massacres weren't they? There was some form of evangelical Christian sect, weren't they?
yeah, because couldn't we do that? We're going to be like, remember the massacre?
Yeah, really.
Okay, I did find at least one New York Times article on it. It's national drug cult godfather suspected of murdering his witch girlfriend. Life in jail.
And what country was that in? Mexico?
It's saying Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so I think that has more to do with the drug cartel than with witchcraft. I mean, I've heard about that. I don't know that much about it, but I mean, there's people in Zimbabwe who are accused of practicing witchcraft. There are people who are beheaded in Saudi Arabia for practicing witchcraft. I mean, it's, you know, witchcraft is such a term, you know, like if we're going to, I mean, everybody can be accused of practicing witchcraft, you know, but there's people who actually practice witchcraft, like people like us, and we don't go around killing people. You know.
Okay, I think I might have found what she was referring to.
Oh, okay, good.
Sacrifice on spring break: the satanic drug cult murder of Mark Kilroy.
Okay, and what year was that? 89.
Yes.
And in what country?
Wait. Okay, 21-year-old Mark Kilroy spent off the first few months as a joyful looking forward to spring break. He was from the University of Texas. It was around the Texas-Mexican border. And I'm reading it from Discovery ID channel. They actually did a video about it. They had a special on it.
Okay, but I mean, what? So and it was in 89.
1989.
So what made it satanic?
Because the people doing it were one claimed to be a Satanist and one was a witch. Apparently, I'm going through it and I can't find anything that shows. Cat, I'm going to hit you across the room. I'm trying to read something. Don't leave the cat in my face. Springwig. Yeah. Yeah, just go ahead and play, and I'll let you know whenever I find the actual information on why they think it was satanic.
Yeah, because this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that whoever wrote that article took some little piece of information and ran with it because that was around that satanic panic period. Now, if they said that there was an actual type of ritual or something like that involved, I would buy it, but I don't think so. I think they just found out that one guy had like a pentagram tattoo or something like that, and they just assumed it was satanic.
Well, the little Sif lad announced at Rio San Elra, speaker Fishnet, whatever. They were members of the Los Negros Santos, i.e., the Satanist drug gang. It was in their name. That's the only reason they're doing that. That's the only thing I can see to it, and the fact that they boiled his flesh and kind of cannibalized him. Apparently, dear Lord, these people were fucked up.
Yeah, those drug gangs are pretty fucked up. I would not want to mess with them.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad things that happened to this guy before he was killed.
Yeah. So does it say why this person was murdered? Was he a virgin or?
I don't know, but he was tortured, raped, and then they killed him, boiled his skull down, and ripped out his heart.
So, I mean,
yeah, it's
okay. Horrible. I'm sorry that this happened to that person,
Yeah.
but I don't see any connection between that and Satanism, other than their
I
name.
don't either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
other than their name. I mean, it sounds like a drug cartel that was just trying to send just really trying to torture this guy for whatever reason. So, yeah, okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with witchcraft.
No, they're just fucked up individuals.
Yeah. Whoops.
It ties in very, very well with the subject of witchcraft in many ways. Then you have the Modern Wars drug/witch cult of 1989, which soured Wicca's public relations image.
So it sounds like she's trying to say that it was a witch cult. And it wasn't.
Oh, how sad.
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime some idiot does something and they have a pentagram, we get associated with it. But like we were talking about, like Jonestown Massacre happens, some Christian zealot reads into the Bible, goes down and has people not only killed, but has mass suicide, or Koresh and their, the Heaven's Gate cult, and they don't associate that with Christianity. That those people were crazy cult members, but they were Christian cult members, but they don't portray it that way. So I don't understand why some idiot who has satanic in the name of their gang, we get associated with it simply by whatever. How, I don't even know how you would connect that to witchcraft, but apparently they do.
Now, then you also have many witches have sought out Roman Catholic Church priesthood. Get that.
I don't think so.
For their lifelong magical learning.
What?
How about that? But witches have nothing to do with Satanism and Catholicism. Then what are some of your witches doing seeking out Roman Catholic priesthood?
Well, she hasn't established that they do. Uh-oh. Did I lose you two?
No, I'm still here. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure the only time any of us go for Catholic help is exorcisms or stuff like that. Because honestly, if you think about it, why else would pagans go to them?
Why would a witch go to a Catholic priest for an exorcism?
That is a good question, but you never know, because some people are like, superstitious or something, thinking, oh, well, we can't get rid of it. Let's the Catholics take a whack at it. I don't know. People are weird.
Well, I'm sure that there are probably. I mean, I've been in the Catholic Church before, but I didn't like seek out a priest for any particular reason. I was just there to celebrate. What was it? A Christmas Mass with my mother. But okay, so maybe if witches do, darken the doorway of a church, it doesn't mean that they're seeking out a priest for any particular reason. And I don't know. I understand there's all kinds of various opinions about this on YouTube and in various pagan communities, but I've never, ever, ever met a witch who had to perform an exorcism or even talked about it, and let alone sought somebody to perform it for them. So that's my entire life. I've never encountered that. Maybe there is a witch out there who sought out a Catholic priest for an exorcism. That's within the realm of possibility. And at the same time, they got hit by a meteorite.
Maybe. I
Yes.
mean, like, honestly, you can cleanse a place pretty much on your own, but you never know with some people, or like you said, it could be somebody did way back when, but I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Explain that one to me. How about 80% of the New Age concepts were borrowed from witchcraft and repackaged as upscale, scientific, and trendy?
Keep that paused. Keep that paused.
This lady and her and her little voices that she does.
Oh, that's another meme.
Oh, that's price.
She's so mad. She must have had some little boy that she had a crush on in college or high
Drawing
school
a
or
card.
something that ran off with some witch girl or something. Because she's so mad. So mad at us.
Bitter.
Yes, very bitter.
Huh. How about that?
How about that?
So all you New Agers, witches out there, your witches by another name, whether you want to admit to it.
By her definition, yes.
Yeah, by her definition, that is true. I mean, I know a lot of people go, well, I'm New Age, but I also believe in witchcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
she's
there's
saying,
people who-
she's grouping everyone together because she likes to.
Yeah, I mean, New Age is kind of, I mean, it's very similar to like eclectic witchcraft practices, because they just sort of take from everything, and they include a lot of various things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If that's really what interests you and you enjoy practicing that way, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But yeah, I mean, I think that there are some similarities between New Age and witchcraft practices, but there's also forms of witchcraft that have absolutely nothing to do with New Age practices. I mean, we're much more accepting and just allow people to do whatever they want to do as long as they're not killing anyone, basically. So it doesn't matter what you do or what you practice, as long as you don't hurt anybody.
Exactly.
Kind of like what the Wiccan Rede is about, but people get all hot. They get bothered by some one little tiny rule. So
I
it's
know,
like,
right?
Okay, all right.
How about your earliest surviving record, extent of Wicca? Where is it?
Oh no, she's gonna write really tiny on the board again. Hopefully, her boyfriend will zoom in on it.
I'm getting my magnifying glass.
Huh?
I said I'm getting my magnifying glass.
You're really-
Borrow.
Hey Dorian, I don't know what's going on, but your mic is really cutting in and out.
I think your computer hates you.
Yeah. I know. I think he's on Wi-Fi.
I just got a new Wi-Fi card. It's good.
I have no idea what you just said.
He said he just got a new Wi-Fi card. Ain't it good?
All right. Let's see what she has to say.
About in the
This is when the first time that witchcraft is mentioned. Okay.
Alfred around 890, which implemented statutes against witches.
Yes, because it was a Christian land.
So you mean to tell me at one point?
She does understand that there are over 40 verses in the King James Bible that condemn either divination, magic, witchcraft, or sorcery.
I'm pretty sure she does,
Yeah.
but she's not mentioning them.
Right. Well, she's mentioned quite a few in the past videos, but
True.
Was actually, had laws passed against them, but now they have laws that are in favor of them and calling them a religion.
yes, because it is a religion. It's a practice
How
and it's a
magical.
religion.
I like that. She's like, She has to sit there and think about it herself.
You're really,
Yeah, that's something.
It's something, all right.
How about Dr. Margaret Murray?
How about Dr. Margaret Murray? Boy, we're being exposed left and right here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk after this.
I know. I'm so scared. What if my boss finds this? Ugh.
How about that?
How about that?
She was the patron scholar who was most responsible for 20th century Wiccan revival.
No, she wrote a book where she hypothesized that there was a witchcraft cult still surviving, or possibly still surviving in parts of Europe and France and England. And it was an anthropological study on it, and there was a lot of people who bought into it, but then there was also people who kind of questioned it, like what would define a witchcraft cult, and how would you define that it survived? So she brought up the theory, but I don't think everybody bought into it.
And
I
she
don't think
described
everyone did.
Yeah.
Books how the high priest king or divine kings slain is vital to Wicca.
Yeah, that's another thing that, especially in the Golden Bough, they talk about, and that's another theory, but I don't think it's ever been proven that there was any kind of a quote-unquote witch king or a sacrificial king who had to be killed around a certain time to continue on the seasons.
I think a witch king would be pretty cool, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yet Wiccans use her, Dr. Margaret Murray, to prove their ancient history.
No, they don't. I'm sure there are probably people who do believe it, but people who take a look at it from a more scholarly perspective see the mistakes in her work. So maybe there are people still today who completely buy into everything that Margaret Murray said, but that's
I'm going to be completely honest. I've never heard of her. Honestly, no one that I've known besides you now and her have really mentioned her. I haven't really looked into her or her writings. And honestly, I'm thinking, well, we look back on our ancient history by looking back at ancient civilizations like the Vikings, the Egyptians, the Celts, That's how we know we have a history of certain things, is we look back on actual history and not just because one person puts it in a book.
Right.
We look into it. We read multiple things.
Right. And various anthropologists have, and cultural anthropologists, archaeologists, and anthropologists, and historians have proposed all sorts of various theories throughout the course of, science or the studies, but not all of them have survived to the day because either new research comes up and they find out that that information was incorrect, or they find out that there was a certain portion of their work that was vital or correct, but not just because somebody writes a book on a theory of, history or cultural anthropology doesn't mean that it's 100% accurate. I mean, that's just the way it is. Even in science, like Darwin had theories about the evolution of the species, and he wrote a book on it. And there were actually certain parts of his theories that were never proven until later on, when other biologists looked back and they said Darwin was correct. Same thing with Einstein. Einstein had a theory of time, time, space, and the curvature of space, and it wasn't proven correct until somebody did an experiment to find out it was true. So yeah, there's all kinds of theories that come forward, but not all of them are accurate or 100% accurate.
Exactly, and that's why they're called theories and not facts.
Right, exactly.
Let's see about that.
Let's see about that.
How about Don Juan Mattis? I don't know how to say his last name.
I have no idea who this is.
Don Juan Mattis, a Yaqui Indian sorcerer in Mexico. Check that out. Mexican sorcerer.
A Mexican sorcerer. A bruja.
Played a major role in introducing shamanism to the pagan Wicca movement. Again, paganism
What?
to witchcraft and Wicca.
You had a question?
Okay, I don't ever recognize his name, and I thought shamans and all that came from over in Europe, not from Mexico. So I'm a little confused by that.
Yeah, I mean, there's I think it was Don Juan, but I don't think he really went by the last name Mathis. But Don Juan, he wrote some books, but yeah, he believed in kind of like a South American Spanish, or excuse me, South American Mexican shamanism. But I never really read any of his books either. But I don't know how much of an influence he had on any form of European witchcraft. I mean, there are other cultures who practice what we would consider to be witchcraft, but they call them by a different name, like brujos, Santeria, Voodoo, So there's various other practices in the entire world that are very similar to witchcraft, but that's their own practice. So he probably wrote a book on his culture and his heritage practice of witchcraft.
Yeah, and I mean, also shamans from even our Native American culture here because you have Cherokee shamans, you have Pueblo shamans, you have all kinds of different shamans from different belief systems as well, not just one. So I don't think it was only him completely introducing the idea of it. And that's what she's kind of making it sound like, that he's the only one that ever introduced that idea.
Ah, yeah, exactly.
How about you remember Gerald Gardner from earlier? He wrote what's called the
The meaning of witchcraft?
The scribbling on the board?
Shadows. The title sounds very creepy to me. I don't know about you, but that sounds very, very revealing. Shadows, Book of Shadows.
Why would it be? What the hell is she talking about?
The title sounds very creepy to me.
Wait, I gotta back it up
She
again.
wrote, she wrote that he wrote
Huh?
the Book of Shadows. Saying that she wrote the book, that he was the one who wrote the Book of Shadows.
Right.
Haven't a lot of authors that are pagan or Wiccan written their own version of Books of Shadows? And don't we all have our own version of a Book of Shadows? So
Yeah,
I don't think he was the first.
Yeah. Did you have something you were going to say, Dorian? No.
Doesn't it sound spooky?
So it does sound spooky, but let's see what she has to say about it.
Book of Shadows. The title sounds very creepy to me. I don't know about you, but that sounds very, very revealing. Shadows, Book of Shadows.
So, all right. So this is what I understand of the Book of Shadows as it pertains to Gerald Gardner. So yes, when Gerald Gardner wrote his Ye Book of Art Magical, he later on called it a Book of Shadows. And to the best of my knowledge, anyone can do a video on this, put it in the comments, write an essay on it, whatever, cite your sources, please. But yes, Gerald Gardner was the very first one to introduce the idea of a Book of Shadows. Other people adopted the idea, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yes, a Book of Shadows, from what I understand, started with Gerald Gardner. But that's his Book of Shadows. So it's like, his Book of Shadows and my Book of Shadows are not going to be the same book. And some other witch who takes Book of Shadows, their book is going to be different too. It's a personal book. But yeah, so I mean, other people who supposedly, I'm doing air quotes here, even though you can't see me, have a family tradition that has a Book of Shadows, unless they're actually coming from Gerald Gardner, their witchcraft tradition, family tradition, should have absolutely nothing to do with it. And I don't believe that traditional, quote unquote, traditional witches back in 14th to 17th century actually had a Book of Shadows. I don't believe that happened. But again, I'm open to new information. Just cite your sources and let me know.
I think honestly what it might have been called back then was just their spell book or their journal or their diary, and we slapped the title Book of Shadows on it nowadays.
You're talking about
calling it a spell book.
talking about the 14th to 17th century?
Yes. If they just
if
they wrote their own books.
The majority of the people who were not in the church or upper class were illiterate. Do you really think they had a book? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, unless they're writing down, because you do have herbalists who did learn some literacy, but a lot of people like to label herbalists and medicine people as witches and stuff like that. But with some people, like, well, my Book of Shadows passed down from my grandmother or something. My grandmother probably called it something different than a Book of Shadows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's just a label that we now put on what can be considered just our spell book or our journal or our progress.
Mm-hmm.
We call it a Book of Shadows now because it's become so common because of Gerald Gardner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, there were definitely occultists, who wrote, and they had their own. Sometimes they even had their own writing system to write in books. So I mean, but you were upper class. If you were an occultist, you were an upper class person, and you probably knew how to read or write. But the majority of the people who were working in the fields and going day by day farming and warriors and stuff like that were illiterate. That's why a lot of churches had stained glass windows and they told the story of the Bible through pictures, because a lot of the common folk were illiterate. And then obviously the priest was up at the pulpit reading the Bible to them to explain the Word of God, because they couldn't read the Bible for themselves, and the Bible really wasn't printed for everyone until after the invention of the of the press, Gutenberg press.
Also known as the Witch's Bible or Rule of Law book, composed by Godfather, quote unquote Godfather, Gerald Gardner, and his buddy, Aleister Crowley.
This one is never ever going to ever die. Aleister Crowley and Gerald Gardner met each other in May of 1947, which happens to be the same year that Aleister Crowley died. Aleister Crowley is at the end of his life at the time that Gerald Gardner and Aleister Crowley got together. Gerald Gardner claims to have taken some of Aleister Crowley's material and incorporated into his own Book of Shadows to create his form of witchcraft. But Aleister Crowley had no interest in it. He really didn't care about it. He didn't try to create some kind of a witch cult or anything like that. He had no interest in it.
Yeah, but look at the face she's making. That's the I
know.
told you so face. I just told you something shocking, didn't I?
I wish I could take screenshots.
Oh,
I'll have to do it.
I have been.
Oh, good, good.
How do you take screenshots anyway?
I have a button on my computer that says screenshots. I just press it. And it goes to my OneDrive file. So.
Oh, good. Yeah. Do you have a Mac or a PC, Dorian?
I have a PC.
Do you have a 120 key keyboard?
So
There should be a button towards the right upper right near the number keypad, and it should be in the F line in the very top, and it should say print screen. And all you do is you hit that button, print screen, and it'll capture your screen. And then like with Loki, sounds like she puts it in her drive, but usually what I have to do is I have to open up Photoshop and then paste it into Photoshop.
thank you.
Sure.
That
Yeah, with mine,
Alright.
it's right next to the airplane mode button. So, but I have a laptop.
Oh, okay.
For me, it's the INS. Underneath is the blue key for input error, and it says PRTSC. That's my screenshot button.
Oh, yeah.
It's
So
a print screen and it's your drive.
right. Yeah, because it's short for print screen.
Yep.
Nice.
If you know anything about Crowley, he was a big-time, well-known Satanist.
Actually, no, he wasn't. And his name was pronounced Crowley. He considered himself to be a magician. He did not consider himself to be a Satanist.
How about that?
How about that?
Satanist helps a Wiccan author to write a well-known book, the Wiccan Bible, Book of Shadows.
So first of all, yes, Aleister Crowley considered himself to be a magician. He didn't consider himself to be a Satanist. And Gerald Gardner, again, took a lot of material from Crowley, but Crowley had no interest in witchcraft or anything like that. But he did. Gardner and Crowley met each other for the first time in May of 1947 for like 4 or 5 days out of May. May 1st, May 7th, May something. And it was like 4 days in May. And Gardner was actually introduced to Crowley through, oh crap, what's his name? Shit. I can't think of his name. But he was introduced through a mutual friend. But before that, Gardner definitely read his books. He definitely was in possession of the Equinoxes, the little magazine that he put out. And he also had a couple of Crowley's other books. He definitely liked Crowley. He admired his writings, but Crowley didn't have anything to do with creating witchcraft.
Oh,
or excuse me, Wicca, Gardner's form of witchcraft.
but you're not tied to Satanism now, are you? What are you doing having a Satanist on your crew of authors?
How about
She's
that?
so funny.
Haven't you ever heard of people like to sit and just talk, and maybe they're not talking about witchcraft and wizardry, and maybe they're saying they're talking about the goddamn weather. You don't know what they talked about, lady.
I mean, seriously, if we found, well, we're not going to find that out because Anton LaVey kind of got Satanism started in the 60s. But even if supposedly there was some kind of a connection between Satanism and witchcraft, they obviously took a serious left turn at some point because neither one of them are similar at all. So,
How about
How about erasing a board?
you really,
back? How about two modern Windows leading public figures bragging about their public links with Crowley? And guess who they are?
let's take a poll. Who do you think they are?
Your mom and dad. No, I'm kidding.
Yo, mama.
Probably gonna either mention Gerald Gardner again.
Hmm.
Who else would I think? I don't know.
Who do you think, Doreen?
Honestly, it could be anybody from Mr. Alexander
That's a good
to
choice.
even Buckland or even Silver Ravenwolf. So depending how old this video is, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's a newer video.
Those,
It's only a month old.
so what about people in the chat? What are they saying? Because I can't really read the chat.
Something about what I said. I don't know.
Oh, your mama? Well, I'm gonna say Anton Zander LaVey, and I'm gonna say Anton Zander LaVey and Alex. Yeah, maybe Alex Sanders. So Alex Sanders and Anton LaVey. Let's see what she says. Oh, Sybil Leek.
Mota money's on LeVay.
Okay, LaVey.
There's a name again. One of the previous authors we had just mentioned.
We got one of them right. Sybil Leek and Alex Sanders. People probably know who Alex Sanders is, right?
For the most part.
Okay. Yeah, so Alex Sanders was an initiate of Gardnerian witchcraft, but he claims to have also had his grandmother initiate him into his own family tradition, quote unquote family tradition. I'm doing air quotes again. And he gave rise to the Alexandrian tradition. Sybil Leek was a witch from the late 1800s, early 1900s, and she started what was called the Horsa Coven. And this was a form of witchcraft which was supposed to be different from Gardnerian witchcraft, which was Gardner's form of witchcraft. So during this whole period in the early 1900s, everybody seems to focus on Gerald Gardner, but there were other people around that same time. People such as Cecil Williamson, Charles Clark, Sybil Leek, and other people like that who had their own form of witchcraft. So like if you've ever heard of Cornish witchcraft, that most likely has come from Cecil Williamson, who also was one of the people who started the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic, which now resides in Boscastle, Cornwall, but used to be on the Isle of Man. Gerald Gardner and Cecil Williamson pretty much ran that museum, and Sybil Leek was one of the early founders, or not founders, but early people who practiced witchcraft, who also started the Society for Psychical Research and also the Witchcraft Research Association. So there's a lot of people in the early 1900s that helped to influence and get a lot of various forms of witchcraft up and going, not just quote unquote Gerald Gardner's form of Gardnerian witchcraft, or which commonly known today as traditional Wicca. I have a whole video I'm still putting together about this. So
The information man here, folks.
Just saying, I would love to watch you debate her. That would be so interesting.
Oh God, she would not
You'd
want.
say-
She wouldn't even be
Right.
in the same room with me.
She'd be just like, you know what, heathen? How about this?
Yeah. Or she would have to have duct tape on her mouth when you're trying to talk because she would interrupt you.
Ooh, oh, that stung a little bit. Ooh. All
So don't do that.
And earlier on in this section of historical facts, Miss Sybil Leek and Mr.
It's not Sybil Leek, it's Sybil Leek.
Alex Sanders. They openly brag about their connections with Crowley.
I think Alex Sanders did. I don't know. Maybe Sybil Leek did brag about her connection with Aleister Crowley. Maybe. I think they knew him. I don't know if they were like good friends and hung out, had drinks, but they knew about each other.
Yeah, even so, it's okay to talk about somebody you know. Like, oh yeah, I hung out. Oh, I've met them before.
Yeah. But I mean, back then, you know, in the early 1900s, I mean, already Aleister Crowley had quite a reputation. You know, most people either liked Crowley or hated the man. That's just, you know, there was no real two ways about it. If you were in the Golden Dawn, you probably hated Crowley.
Yeah,
But
with a passion.
yeah.
I guess that kind of refutes your claim that you have nothing to do with Satanism and Satan as a deity, huh?
Why would it refute it when how? How would it refute it? What the hell are you talking about, lady?
Just because they know somebody doesn't mean that we're linked to Satanism and that we worship your Christian devil.
Right.
Again, it's your devil, not ours. Remember, it's in your religion, not ours. Dear fuck woman.
And it would, in my opinion, it would be literally impossible to separate the Western occult tradition from modern day Wicca. I don't know about traditional witchcraft, and I don't know about family lineages, which are supposed to be completely separate from Wicca. I'm not going to talk on that because I don't know about that. But I do know that there's no way that you can separate the Western occult tradition from Wicca. And definitely the Golden Dawn is in there, Aleister Crowley is in there, Eliphas Levi is in there, Israel Regardie is in there. So it would be impossible. Were you going to say something, Dorian?
Well, by her whole statements, she seems like one of those people that if, let's say you're on social media and you like something that to a group, all of a sudden you're guilty by default.
Exactly. Yeah. Guilt by association.
How about your famous scholar?
Ooh, I wonder who this will be. Who's going to be our famous scholar, I wonder. Maybe, not Margaret Murray, but Margot Adler. I bet you she's going to say Margot Adler.
Yeah, was that or Scott coming in? I don't know.
Ah, that could be
Let's
too.
see.
Here she is again, Margaret Adler.
Margot.
Damn, you were right.
Yep, Margot Adler. I guess Margot Adler's not in that 18th century dictionary of hers.
Your
Probably not.
neo-pagan scholar. She says that there were ecumenical gatherings of neo-pagan groups that almost always affirmed Crowley's cardinal ethical teachings. She openly admits to Crowley's teachings being a part of these ecumenical gatherings of neo-pagan groups.
So the fuck what?
Everybody's entitled to believe what the fuck they want, woman. Like you believe a book that was written by hypocrites.
Right, exactly. And I mean, even so, even if people are, you know, even if people, I mean, Crowley had a lot of great writings. I mean, he was a very intelligent, well-spoken, well-written, and he understood occultism and he understood symbolism. He understood magic. He was a very intelligent man. He's not somebody who I want to go hiking in the Alps with, but he was definitely, I mean, he wasn't exactly a stellar stand-up guy, but you know, not everybody's walking around as a perfect person.
One of your most respected scholars.
Oh, the Wiccan Read. Book of the Law.
How about your Wiccan Read? If I'm saying that correctly, I don't know.
Surprisingly, yes.
She got one right. Give her a
I know.
cookie.
Really?
Being comparable to Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law. Huh. Why are there eerie similarities between the two?
There's not. I mean, this is actually something that I was under the misconception of. So the Wiccan Read does not come from Aleister Crowley's The Book of the Law. So the Thelemites have they're saying, you know, love is the law, love under will. Shoot, now I can't even think of it. Love is the law, love under will. Shoot. Somebody look it up for me, please.
What was that again? Sorry.
The Thelemite law.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Love is the law, love under will, something, something, something. But anyhow, it's two parts of that. And it's the will as in like who you are as a true person, what your true will is. And then love is also that part of you that you know is the true nature of a person, or the complete acceptance of things. So it's thelema and agape. Both of them add up to a certain number, which is sacred to Thelemites. But there's two parts of that. The first part sounds similar to the Wiccan Read, and I think that's why I was confused with the Wiccan Read for so long, because the Wiccan Read is do as thou wilt. That's what it is. Do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. That's the Aleister Crowley one. The Wiccan Read, which is a guideline, not a law. It is not a law, but it is a suggestion, and that is do what thou wilt. And it harm none, do what thou wilt. And what that means is it is do what you want to do, but don't harm anybody. Don't, try to do the least amount of harm, because you are going to harm things. If you're breathing in microbes. But those two things are completely separate. The Wiccan Rede actually pertains to your will, your desire, what you want to do. The quote by Aleister Crowley pertains to your true self, your true desire. Did you find it? Yeah, so I think it's love is, let me see. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. I think that's what it is. So there's two parts of that.
Of course, Google is giving me crap on my phone.
Oh.
Did you find any? And Dorian disconnected.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay. Yeah, he looked like he was having problems. So I think it's do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. I think that's what it is. And then the Wiccan
What was
Rede
the first word?
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Yeah, that comes from it's also showing Crowley as a site for it as well.
Yeah, so would you mind reading the whole thing?
Alrighty, let me. Come on, phone, load. From the book of the law, you're not giving me the area where it came from, you pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make it have weird symbols in it. Dear Lord, I hate my phone.
Yeah, those are probably missing Greek symbols.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law under will.
Okay, yeah. So I think I was pretty close. So yeah, so that's what it is. So those are two completely separate things. They don't have anything to do with each other. They sound similar. The first part of the Book of the Law sounds similar to the Wiccan Rede, but it doesn't. They're not the same. And also, just as a history of it, it comes from Gerald Gardner, quoting the King Pasal. I can look it up here, but it's from The Meaning of Witchcraft. I forget exactly which page. But that's where it originates. It doesn't have anything to do with Crowley.
If you're not connected with Satanism and somehow not connected with Satan as a deity.
Again, Crowley did not call himself a Satanist, didn't consider himself to be a Satanist. So, and he didn't have anything to do with creating Wicca.
Hey, look, he's back.
Yay, welcome back, Dorian.
Sorry, it's weird. It says my Wi-Fi is at full strength, and then
Mhm.
I keep randomly dropping. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, maybe the signal's going in and out. Well, at least you sound much better.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, we can hear you.
I'd like to know.
I'll bet you'd like to know.
And I have another thing, another fact / question to point out to you.
You have a question to point out to us?
The volume's kind of low.
Huh?
The volume on her is low. It's hard to
The
hear
volume
her.
on her is low?
Yes, it's kind of hard to hear her.
All right, let me see if I can turn it up a little bit.
And I have another thing, another fact / question to point out to you.
that better?
Yes.
Why do your bibliographies include almost all of Crowley's major books? Why?
Because Crowley is referenced a lot of times in a lot of books. I don't understand why is she trying to create some kind of a guilt by association by associating Crowley with Wicca. It doesn't have any, there's no negative effects of that. Because Crowley's had a lot of influence in the occult community. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, you crazy, crazy lady.
If you're not connected to Satanism, why do your bibliographies, your own sources, trace back to Crowley's writings?
Ugh, I'm done even trying to talk to her about that.
How about your high priest?
How about him?
Okay. Why do they study the Church of Satan's Bible, the Satanic Bible?
What?
Because they don't, you stupid, crazy lady. They don't. I mean, even if there was an association between Wicca and Satanism, which there isn't, so what? There's nothing wrong with Satanism. Satanism has its own path, its own stuff that they study and they practice, but it doesn't have anything to do with Wicca. Those are two separate things. I don't mind Satanists. You know, they mind their own business. They do what they want. That's it. I don't care. But it doesn't have anything to do with Wicca.
If you have no connection with Satanism. Why is that? Why are your high priests required to study the Satanic Bible from the Church of Satan?
They're not. Where the hell is she getting this? Any ideas?
I have no idea.
I have no idea where she's getting it either.
Okay. How about the Witches League for Public Awareness? I'm just going to go through a few of these, but how about witches do not do evil? That defies the basic definition of what we've discussed earlier in the study. You know, they were classified in various tongues. They were labeled as one who curses, troubler, various forms of, you know, evildoers. Oh, but you don't do evil. Then, according to the witches of Salem, the do's and don'ts of witchcraft, according to the source, witches do not worship Satan. Well, we've already seen thus far in our historical facts session that
the historical facts section.
I'm trying to think of. She has historical facts in here. Where?
I must have missed the historical facts section.
Can she link that in the description, please?
Yeah, really. Whatever cockamamie crazy ass idea that you pull out of your ass and throw onto that chalkboard of yours, lady, is not a historical fact. Okay. Historical facts are like, you know, 1682 Columbus discovered America, or, you know, or historical facts actually are facts. It's not just like hypotheticals like Mormons worship UFO aliens. I mean, that's all. You haven't proven anything. You're just making accusations. It's like they say Bigfoot exists, and then they go on to talk about what Bigfoot eats, and you know how Bigfoot sleeps and all this. And it's like, at some point you're like, but you still haven't determined that Bigfoot fucking exists. Hey.
you're tied to the Church of Satan. Your high priests have to study the Satanic Bible.
No, they don't. Who the hell? Where did she? How? Where? Who? What? How? How did this come about?
Yeah, as far as I know, none of our high priests or high priestesses that I've ever talked to had to study anything about the Satanic Bible. What is she doing? And why doesn't
I don't
she,
know
oh,
what
I'm glad she's not sharing.
You really, I don't want to smoke that.
The Church of Satan. Interesting.
Interesting.
How about witches wear clothing of every style and color? They come from every socioeconomic and ethnic background. Yeah, that explains it. That ties back to the linguistic origins. How about your claim that a male witch is not a warlock? Well, hate to burst your bubble.
Aw, she's gonna burst our bubble. Damn it.
Is not a problem for me at all. But I will say this. The Lord Jesus Christ has shown me over the past several weeks of preparing for the study.
Oh, I see. So her Lord God revealed this information to her, showed it to her. Oh, okay. So that's where she gets all of her quote unquote historical facts.
Oh.
That makes sense.
That your own sources have, I should say, former witches who are now King James Bible believing Christians,
AKA BS Bill Schnoblin.
have admitted to the fact that male witches are called warlocks.
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're called high priests, which you have written on this board right behind your stupid looking head.
So you can't duck it. How about witches do use spells? Hey, that's true, because it ties back to witchcraft. You know, a spell is a thought, a projection, a prayer, or an enchantment. Interesting. Very interesting. Witches do use magic wands. Witches do use witchcraft as a science, art, and a religion. Again, this ties back to what we talked about before.
Prayer.
What was that?
I think his mic is acting up again.
Yeah, or his Wi-Fi card's giving him a hard time.
For that.
So, sorry, Dorian. Try saying what you were going to say before again.
Spells. Prayer.
Ah, yes, yeah. Good point. I mean, I understand that people have. So my understanding of prayers is what you're doing is you're asking a deity. Like if you pray to a monotheistic deity called God, you are praying to that God to have something to occur. Like let's say you pray to God, you say, "Oh, please God, I want to pass this finals test tomorrow. Please give me strength," blah, blah, whatever. You're praying to that deity for that. Now, a magician or a witch might go into a circle and cast a spell to succeed in their exam or their test to pass it. The differences between those two is that one, in a prayer, you're petitioning a deity to have something happen. In a spell or working magic, you are actually using your will to influence and change that thing. So yeah, so they are very similar. One is going through a deity, petitioning a deity. The other one is you're actually using your will. But yeah, you're right, because she said that was part of spells. Prayers. We could even back it up and go over that part.
He said he'll be right back. He's resetting his computer.
Okay.
A spell is a thought, a projection, a prayer, or an enchantment.
So, yep, that's what she said. So if you pray to your God, you're a witch. You crazy lady.
Interesting.
Yes, you're a witch.
Very interesting.
I mean, she's actually a bitch, but she's a witch.
Yeah.
Witches do use magic wands. Witches do
Not
use,
all of us.
Huh?
Not every witch uses a magic wand. I
Right.
don't use it for anything. As far as I have one, yeah, but I just use it for energy work. I don't use it for anything else. I don't. All my spells, I don't lift up a wand and wave it around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in my own personal practice, I've never used a wand. But that's just, yeah, exactly. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's exactly. You can't just say that everybody practices. Not even all Wiccans practice the same, and not all witches practice the same, and not all pagans of all the various paths practice the same. But she's going to generalize and just throw everybody into the same camp.
As a science, an art, and a religion. Again, this ties back to what we've talked about so far. And of course, they claim we're just nature worshiping people.
That's the other thing. I don't consider myself to worship nature. I do have a respect for it and reverence, and understand that I'm a part of it.
Exactly.
Like, if we don't have clean oceans, we don't have clean water, we don't have clean food, and it's pretty much the source of all other life on this planet. So if we completely destroy the ozone layer, we're going to suffer for it. If we decide to chop down all the trees that create oxygen, we're going to die because we're not going to have enough oxygen. So it's not that I worship nature. I understand it, and I have a reverence for it. And yes, I do think it has its own divinity, and it is beautiful. But I don't sit there and worship nature. But I mean, even if somebody does worship nature, at least it's real.
Exactly.
A thought, a projection, a prayer, or an enchantment. Interesting. Very interesting. Witches do use magic wands. Witches do use witchcraft as a science, an art, and a religion. Again, this ties back to what we've talked about so far. And of course, they claim we're just nature worshiping people. No, you're not. You're Satanists by another name. How about in witchcraft as a science, we view the pentacle as the golden section, a geometric shape, and a talisman. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Oh, you see what she's reading?
I can somewhat see it.
So
Is
she's reading Bill Schnoblin's book.
Oh, dear gods. No wonder
Because
why
they-
she's... No wonder why she's getting everything horribly wrong.
Yep. She is reading Wicca, Satan's Little White Lie, right there. Yeah, you can. Yeah, because the line's right in front of it. But yeah, that's what it is. Let me see. Speed, quality. Well, that didn't help.
No.
Is Dorian still gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how about witches do concern themselves with ecology? Of course, because that is a public relations front.
What? Yeah, that's the only reason why witches concern themselves with being concerned with the ecology of the earth. Yeah, right. To hold up public relations. Doesn't have anything to do with the fact that we are dependent upon the earth for our own survival.
And yes, there are some ecological tentacles and aspects to witchcraft and Wicca, but the bottom line is you're still a Satanist by another name. I don't care how you call yourselves of whatever sort. How about one of the most widely taught and held ethical beliefs in modern Wicca is the threefold law of return. Again, going back to karma. Have you ever heard the term, what goes around comes around?
Oh man.
Oh my god, that look again.
Are you getting a screenshot of that?
Yes, I am. Got it.
All right. I'm gonna take a screenshot of it too. And hold on one second. I want to open up
No problem.
Photoshop. So let me see. I'm going to stop presenting for a second. We'll pause for a moment, and hopefully maybe Dorian will be back. So let's see. We'll read what people are talking about in the chat room. Let's see.
Screenshots.
Yes. Let me see. Help me, please. This is fucking stupid. Yeah, really, I agree. My karma ran over your dogma. But fuck it. Where's the bat? Baseball bat. Yeah, really. Where's the bleach? Oh, Michelle was here. Hey, good night, Michelle. Her boobs are hitting her stomach. Yes, her boobs are hitting her stomach. All right, I got my screenshot. Yep, Dorian's still gone, huh?
Yeah.
Let me see what else are people saying. I had Kundalini. Did it hurt? Wow, that has to be the smallest. I know she writes so small. As opposed to the complete historical bullshit section. Yeah, talking about her earlier historical quote unquote facts.
Well, her historical facts are from Bill Schnoebelen, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. There he is. He's back.
Hey, Dorian.
All right, how do I sound? It says I am way more powerful right now. It says I should be nice and clear. Am I coming in nice and clear?
Yes. Did you level up?
I did. I learned the true magic, and I'm good to go.
All right. Good deal. All right. So we just paused for a second until you got back so I could take a screenshot. And let me go back into screen sharing. Can you all see it?
I can.
Yes. We see the beautiful Joker smile.
Okay. You do
All
see
right.
it. All right.
Don't forget to present.
Yeah, right.
Because
yeah, thanks. Hold on. I'm presenting. There we go. All right. Whoops.
And yeah, that's karma by another name. A aspect of Hinduism. Again, tied back to witchcraft. And actually, a former landlord of mine, when I was a lost woman years
A lost woman.
ago in 2006, she told me exactly that one day. If you've heard my testimony from
And we don't care about your testimony, you crazy small writing lady.
Lutheranism to Salvation, parts 1 through 3, I talk more in detail about what happened with this landlord from 2006. And she said in those exact words, she said, "What goes around comes around." And I was ignorant at the time. I had no idea that that was a karma concept, a Hindu concept.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of people use that term, what comes around goes around, kind of like, I don't think they necessarily mean karma per se. I mean, karma actually has a whole another aspect to it. If you're talking about the Hindu concept of karma, I think like maybe in the 60s or something, or 70s, people thought up that idea. And yeah, I'm sure it's probably based in karma, but it's also kind of like, if you're an asshole to people, people are going to be an asshole to you. If you're decent to other people, people are going to be decent to you.
Precisely. I mean, that's my rabbit drinking.
Oh,
Okay.
your rabbit has a drinking problem.
Yeah, the bottles suck and they won't drink out of bowls. Oh, bastards.
Were you going to say something, Loki?
No, actually, I was heading to mute because of the rabbit sound. So if you notice when I'm not really responding, it's because I have to go up and unmute it real quick because they're making noises.
Gotcha. Okay.
Is she a Hindu? I don't know. But whatever she calls herself, she's a Roman Catholic by another name. Anyhow, how about you even claim that you don't know your source of universal wisdom. Well,
What?
what is that? That's a form of false illumination, because like we read earlier in James chapter 1 verse 5, I'm paraphrasing here, God gives wisdom liberally to all men and upbraids it not. Okay? And you can go back to James chapter 1 verse 5 for the exact wording.
Why would we go to your Bible to describe our beliefs?
But the point is, if you as witches don't know where your wisdom comes from, then how do you know it's accurate and true?
What? The hell does that mean?
Well, ours come from history books and ancient history. Yours comes from a book that has been retranslated how many times?
I don't think that witchcraft really holds any universal wisdom. I think that it if anything, it gives loose ways of looking at the world, but it's up to the individual to find their own personal meaning. You can still find your own personal meaning. Whatever personal wisdom somebody has is going to come from their family, their upbringing, their philosophy, education, etc. But that's going to be different for every single person. Like the three of us here, each one of us is going to have a different belief and a different idea about things. We're not going to have the same belief and the same ideas.
Why not ask God, the source of all wisdom and all truth, and ask him to give you the wisdom you're seeking?
Because every time that I pray to him, it goes to voicemail.
That was good. That was good. I was gonna say every time I pray to him, an invisible man upstairs, the guys upstairs start yelling at me to shut up.
I feel sorry for you guys. I get like VIP access.
Oh man, you got the direct line. Now are you
Well,
calling
because
the
the Earth-
1-800 number?
No, it's because here in Canada, we know that the Earth is flat, so we're closer to God because of it. So we're more centralized.
Yeah, because Canada's right in the center of the flat Earth map.
Oh yeah.
Man, you guys are
Flat
lucky.
Earth privilege. So
But unfortunately, if you look at the flat Earth map, Canada is also a lot smaller though.
Yeah, it is.
So even though you're at the center of the world, your country's small. Yeah, but every time I call the 1-800 number, it goes directly to voicemail. Sorry,
Yeah, I
Yahweh's
know,
not here
right?
right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, he'll get back to you as soon as he can.
How about the fact that your religion is based on an amalgamation of legends that does not match reality?
So are yours. Dear fuck woman, what do you think yours is based off of? Old tales and old suggestions and ideas of how your life should be and moral bullshit. Dear fucking Christ, woman, your fucking bunch of legends is mine.
Loki took
just had to get the rant out.
Loki took the words directly out of my mouth. It's like kettle, black, black kettle.
No, I swear, when I do my parody of this woman, it's basically going to be a Wiccan telling you how Christianity really is. It's probably only going to last me 10 minutes because you realize how many takes I'm going to have to do when I'm trying to make it straight fucking face.
Yeah, but that's going to be so hilarious when you do it.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to make sure I have my altar behind me. I may even put my rainbow flag behind that. I am going to... Damn, this is gonna. She's just giving me more fuel for my fire.
Although what you should do is find a small chalkboard and write as small as you can on the chalkboard, and just get someone to try to.
Actually, I'm gonna use my whiteboard, and seeing that I have to do it myself because Soren will be at work. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to like lean into my computer going, here's the zoom. Here's the zoom. But I also am just gonna write scribbles and not actual words because all I see are blurred letters on her end. And that's even if I put my glasses on. So I'm gonna have way too much fun mimicking her expressions now. She just made it where I have zero choice but to do this video. Because I was thinking, I'm gonna wait a little while. No. Now she's getting the full fucking wrath of Loki. Your God's as much of a myth as my God, damn it.
Yes. Yes. I mean, how can we possibly compete with this, with the story of Noah's Ark? I mean, it's obviously true.
Just the simple fact of legend, just the simple word legend, it points to myth. It points to
Noah's Ark, the myth.
disillusions. I mean, it's most likely spoken and not.
Sodom and Gomorrah. It really happened.
I was gonna say, well, at least I'd rather believe in a giant world serpent circling the world than some guy got pinned up to a cross half naked and died for my sins and then became a zombie the next 3 days. What?
Yeah, but it didn't even work.
Zombies.
But this is the other thing that gets me, right? Okay, so Jesus died on the cross for our sins. But you're born with sin, and you have to spend the rest of your life repenting for sin. So it didn't work.
Exactly. If you have to repent for something that you were already forgiven of,
Yes.
then what's the use in it? I'm with you. I'm confused about that.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't stick. He's got to do a do-over.
Not written down. So how do you know it's true? How do you know it's accurate?
Oh man.
How
Projection.
do you know yours are true or accurate, bitch? I'm sorry. Now she has me on the warpath. I think Matt would be the same way right now, but he's at work.
Bastard.
How about for thousands of years, witches were viewed as weird, frightening, and dangerous.
Well, so we're Christians.
Yeah, really. I don't necessarily think so. I think more what it was they were the scapegoats. They were basically sort of looked at like responsible for stuff because they were supposed to be in league with the devil, and the devil was working through them. So if your child suddenly got sick and then just died on you, and you saw the old woman, you know, who already probably was kind of shunned by society because she was a widow and kind of weird looking and walked funny and had one eye that was blind, and looked at you one day, you'd say, oh, she gave me the evil eye, she's a witch. Or if your cow got sick or got infected, or your husband couldn't get it up one day, you know, all of these various things, and then they'd find somebody to scapegoat. I don't think they were frightened of those people. I think they just used them as a scapegoat to explain their misfortunes.
And I felt bad for them. Like, you read those documentaries, it could be anything from like, oh, this person's a witch, let's find the witch mark on them. And it's like, oh, it has a weird mole, proof that this person's a witch, let's burn this person for such and such misfortune. And like most of the people burnt were just innocent people, just people that maybe had a weird face, or maybe their shirts were somehow magically clean.
Yeah, and it was usually you know, like the people who were accusing people of other witchcraft. If it was like a young woman or something like that, then the magistrate or whoever was conducting the interview would have to strip her naked and then examine her body for, you know, a witch mark. I mean, it was just it was obviously just different ways of just, you know, getting their rocks off or being power hungry or whatever, you know. but I don't think they were necessarily scared of these people.
All of a sudden, through their peer image polishing and whatnot, just like psychological operations goons and spooks do, you know.
What the fuck did she just say?
Something about spooks and goons.
About polishing our reputation.
I'm going to back it up. Let's hear that again.
Done through their peer image polishing
I'm going to back it up just a little further.
and dangerous. But yet, all of a sudden, through their peer image polishing and whatnot, just like psychological operations goons and spooks do, you know, they.
What?
I honestly hear like what those goons and spooks do. That is how I hear her. I'm not sure about you guys.
I hear about the same. I'm like, wait, goons and spooks polish their reputations? What?
Okay. I have no idea what the fuck she's saying. So, yeah. Okay. Whatever.
They changed their original description of weird, frightening, and dangerous to "I'm a good white witch."
Sorry. Screenshot.
Oh my god. Well, I gotta wait for you to screen share it again so I can get it.
Dang it. Is it not working? Doesn't work for me.
It doesn't like you right now.
Apparently not. No, it's for some reason sometimes I can't do it at full screen.
Mm.
All right. Can you both see it?
Yep.
You see
Yes,
her?
sir.
All right.
Magic? It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but a different spin on it.
Yeah, that whole thing with black magic, white magic is really outdated. It's going out the window because it's just that comes from that same Christian hang up of good and evil, and it's just stupid. I mean, you can do whatever you want, just I mean, if you can live with the consequences, you live with the consequences of whatever it is that you do.
Yeah. I get asked by people, oh, do you do white magic or black magic? I'm like, I just do magic.
Right.
I don't put a color to it. It is what it is. It's the purpose behind it, not what it's called.
You should
There's
tell
no
them.
actual name to it. It's just magic.
Right. They should tell them. It's sort of a kind of like a taupe magic, but it's not quite as saturated. It's kind of like a lighter taupe.
It's a blazing hot pink.
Blazing hot.
Goons and spooks do, you know, they changed their original description of weird, frightening, and dangerous to "I'm a good white witch. I don't do black magic." It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but a different spin on it. Okay? How about the fact that your definitive guide, Gardner's Book of Shadows, recommends using marijuana and its rituals to gain the third eye of sight and lists drugs as a number 2 path?
It doesn't. Bill Schnoblin in his book said that some people use hemp, but I've actually never heard that, and I've never read that anywhere.
I will admit, I know a few people who are Wiccan and witches that do use marijuana to relax so they can get into that mindset and meditation and be able to flow into it easier. But it's more of a relaxation than anything else. And they don't use anything harder than maybe smoking a bowl or a joint. And they,
Yeah, but that's right.
for them
But do
to
they?
focus.
But do they use hemp incense?
I know one person that does, but that's because they like the smell.
No, no. All right. Okay. Oops, sorry. I had an ant or something on me. No, I meant do. So yeah. So people smoke marijuana. They smoke pot. Yeah. So, but they also, but do they use hemp and incense as to get high, or they just use hemp as incense?
They use hemp as just incense. I don't know anyone who uses it to get high.
All right. Well,
Let's
let's see what she has to say.
hemp and marijuana are two separate things to me. So
Right. Yeah. And I don't.
sorry.
It's okay.
Same thing, but a different spin. Okay, how about the fact that your definitive guide, Gardner's Book of Shadows, recommends using marijuana and its rituals to gain the third eye of sight and lists drugs as a number 2 path of the witch's wheel or your eightfold path to magic. Doesn't this sound like a certain Eastern religion that is a daughter of the Roman Catholic core on Seven Hills, i.e. the Vatican? Doesn't this sound kind of eerily familiar? Eightfold Path of Enlightenment? If you want to know what that is, you can study it for yourself. But I don't want to give away how this relates to the diagram I'm going to be showing later. But let me just tell you something that is very, very interesting and very positive. When the King James Bible is preached and believed and lived by sold out Bible believing Christians who uphold God's word, the King James Bible, and live by it, there is freedom. There is religious freedom and tolerance in a country. And this country has been blessed mightily by God thus far because there are a lot of us Bible believing Christians out there who care enough about your soul. If you're practicing witch or New Ager or whatever sort of Satanist you are, we care enough about you to tell you the truth out of love. We are trying to give you the facts you need to say, hey, I want out of the system, okay? We're not doing this out of hatred like you've been led to believe by your leaders. You know, we want to reach out to you and let you know that there is a way out of your system. And so when a country has a large number of King James Bible believing preachers in it, living by God's word, you know, preaching and teaching God's word, God will bless that country and he'll do great things for that country, regardless of.
Oh my God. Pause it real quick. The ideal that if God is there to help your country, and if you pray to him, he'll help fix your country and bless your country. Tell that to the countries who, quote unquote, live by his law and are still in war.
Yeah, but those countries aren't actually Christian.
True. But I don't think that even so, the whole, well, he'll fix everything if you believe in him and everything will be great. And it's because of us that America is good. I'm thinking,
Yeah, but most of the countries in the world that are successful, like you would consider to be first world countries, are Christian countries.
that is true. But they also have other religions in them too. But
yeah, but England, France, Germany, Italy, most of the countries in the world that are in the first world are Christian based.
And Doran said, be right back. He had to run to the banyo.
Okay.
People are staying for his word. That's why there's religious freedom in the United States of America right now. And also, another fact of your history is the occult and its various forms and names is the fastest growing religion, quote unquote religion, here in the United States right now. Because it's called different names. And a lot of people aren't aware of the different tentacles of this religion. How about the fact that all you Wiccans and witches out there claim that your matriarchal old religion predates Christianity, Well, this is mixed lies and mixed truth. And
It is fake
Let me-
news. I do not agree with this news. It is fake news.
verses. Okay, John chapter 1, verses 1 through 4. It says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God."
Wait, I thought bird was the word.
Yeah, I did too.
All things were made by
Peter
him.
Griffin has lied to me.
Without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Okay, you get that? God has always existed. He is both present, past, and future. He is the beginning
Oh my
and
God.
out.
Huh?
Is she really using that to justify that Christianity is older than anything else just because her book, again, is claiming that he was there to begin with, so therefore her religion outdates everyone else's? She's really
Well, that's
using
what
that as the...
That's right. I
Sorry.
was just saying that's what she's saying. Yeah.
Whew. Apparently she has been brainwashed by that Bible thumping cult.
Exactly.
She says we're bad.
Hmm.
Okay, so if you want to be technical about who predates who, it goes like this. God is first. You have
Dinosaurs were first.
Babylon. Also, the Tower of Babel. Another verse that talks about God predating man and everything else, night and day, creatures, plants, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. Colossians chapter 1 also says basically the same thing as John chapter 1. So let's go to Colossians. Colossians chapter 1, verses 15 through 17.
Bookmark, lady.
For by him, God, were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Okay? You get that? So God and the Godhead predates your system of religion. Got it?
No, it doesn't. Just because you
So
said it
mad.
doesn't mean it does. I know, she seems like I'm exact because this book is the truth. My book is true, and history books and chronological time orders and all that, that's a lie because my God is truer than you.
Fine, I'm
So I
going to
guess-
work my way,
Sorry.
you know.
That's all right.
And tries to push God out of the picture in Babylon. And we can see that in Genesis chapter 10 and 11.
All right. Yay. End of part 2. We
Whew.
survived. Man.
Sorry about Loki's
That was
tirades.
Yeah, really. That was painful.
That was something, though. That was eye-opening. I now realize how I was following a satanic path all along. I'm sorry. I'm not sure I can do this YouTube stuff anymore. I'm going to convert. I'm going to join Mario on a new podcast. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so she's just so accusatory, and then like just runs with stuff. She doesn't even try to show that anything is true or factual or whatever. She just runs with stuff. And the whole bullshit
well, for her,
about
if it's in the
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
for her, if it's in her Bible, it's the only truth. it's not that she is gonna go look up and find other things. No, for her, it's her Bible is law. Her Bible is everything correct. Nothing you say will ever go against her Bible, even if you throw proof at her, saying, "Hey, this actually is an older pre-existing text," or obviously this shows something else. She would go, "No, my Bible says that God." Right there, her whole argument is all around one book.
Right.
And her belief system.
Exactly. Yep. And the whole thing with the incense, I mean, so Bill Schnoebelen claims that back in the 60s, that they used hemp as incense. So apparently Loki knows a person who smokes pot and uses hemp as incense. So, but for the majority of the people who use incense, the majority of the people don't use hemp. Hemp doesn't really have a fantastic smell to it. And if somebody wants to get high or whatever before a ritual, that's fine. But it's not part of standard practice. It's actually frowned upon because you want to be in the correct state of mind to be in circle. So, Bill Schnoebelen is just an idiot. And apparently she's getting a lot of her information from Mr. BS.
Well, I know when I was looking into Wicca, Amber Kay, Cunningham, and Buckland, in all their books, they're like, yo, don't use drugs. You got to keep a clear head. You got to stay focused. They emphasize that and stuff like that. And if those are some of the big names out there, where is she getting her names? Like, is it just like some Twitter follower of hers, or?
I have no idea.
I'm kind of curious. I want to know.
Who?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. What do you mean? What Twitter follower? What are you talking about, Dorian?
Well, I just want to know where she gets her information. Like, I've checked her links. There's no like sources linked. It's just like, all right, here's some basic information about what this video is about, and that's it.
Oh,
I want to know her sources. I want to fact check.
Yeah. Because you were disconnected but she was reading a book. Because when we were watching the book that she was reading rose up, and it was Bill Schnoebelen's book, Wicca's Satan's Little White Lie. So that's where she was getting her information from.
I won't lie. I kind of want to PDF that book. I want to read it and stuff like that. I want to know more about what Bill says is Wicca. So,
yeah, really, it would be nice. It would be nice if there was a PDF version of it. Yeah. I mean, I have a copy of it. I could send it to you if you want, but I don't know. Have you ever looked to see if there is a PDF version of it?
I'm going to check after this podcast just to maybe I'll read it like on the train or something, because I'm kind of curious about what this Grand Master in everything has to say. So might make for an interesting video one day.
Yeah, definitely. I know. Do you have a Kindle?
I have a smartphone, if that counts.
Oh, okay. Because I think you could probably get the book as a Kindle, but also, like, I forget, I bought my used copy for like $3 or $4. You can find a used copy pretty cheap. But if not, I mean, I could send you my copy. I don't mind. I just have to get it back at some point.
I don't know, it might get lost in the Canadian mail. So
The Canadian. So yeah.
I mean, honestly, listening to this lady, I've concluded a lot of things of she is very biased against anything that goes against what she believes, which is a pattern we're noticing with people that go by Bill Schnoebelen's book, that go by Now You See TV, to where even if you give them proof, they will ignore it.
Yeah.
They will sit there and say that they're right because the Bible says they are. And I mean, it's okay to believe in what you believe, but when you're sitting there going, well, no, and then spouting lies about somebody else's belief system. That's where the biggest issue is. And I think that's the main thing I do want to get a point to you. We're not making fun of her because she's being stupid. It's because she's getting out inaccurate information, which is her being stupid. But I'm not picking on her for being a Christian. I'm picking on her for being an idiot. And it's just getting to a point with her where almost anything she says, it's almost rehashing of everything and anything that they say on IUC TV as well. So I'm wondering if she also watches them and takes notes or something.
Probably. I know that when I first came across IUC TV, I was in their chat room, and I openly told them. I said, I went in their chat room. I like said hello. I introduced myself. I told them. I said, I'm a witch. I practice witchcraft, and they let me stay in their chat room for a while. But then they started, but as they went along and they talked about Crowley and stuff like that, I said, actually, you're incorrect. That's not true about a certain thing. I think it was about they accused Crowley of doing human sacrifice. And I said, no, that's actually not true. He didn't do that. And I kept saying that and kept saying that. And they began to call me, like a troublemaker or what. But all I was doing was correcting the misinformation. And then they would come on and they would say, well, you don't know because you're not high enough up there. But when Bill Schnobel was talking about his Satanism and Illuminati bullshit stuff. And so then eventually they just kicked me out. But that was what they did, was they said, well, you just don't know because you're not high enough up on the ranks of the Illuminati. But this is what's actually going on.
Yeah. It's just sad that they do that, and when you're trying to tell them the actual information, that they're just like, no, you're wrong because you're not high enough, or you're not this, you're not that. Coming from a man who's lying about half his background.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, right.
Even if you did give them that information about Bill, I'm pretty sure they'll go, oh, well, that is made up information.
Yeah, I mean, they probably don't even believe it. I don't even know if they've watched any of my videos on Bill. I mean, I didn't in the chat room outright call Bill a liar. I just basically was correcting the misinformation that he was giving, saying, no, that's not accurate, or that's not true. And even wrote lengthy comments on the video afterwards, giving them the page number and everything, giving them the facts. So, it's, yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, I don't have a problem with Christians. I mean, there's no way that I could hate every single Christian that exists, because I work with them, and I like Christians, and there's just different types of Christians out in this world, and one of the types of Christians happen to be this type that basically believes that every other religion in the entire world is made up by Satan.
Yep.
The average Christian you're going to run into at work or on the street or whatever, they don't really care. They're into doing their own life, living the way that they believe is the best way for them to live, and they pretty much leave other people alone,
Yeah, and somebody in the chat, Emily Stevens, was saying, well, she's a Seventh-day Adventist. I would have to disagree with that as well. Tyler's already as well, because I know Seventh-day Adventists. They're really nice and they're like, okay, yeah, your belief will probably send you to hell, but that's your choice, and my choice is to go by the Bible. And a lot of them don't dispute the history that we know or anything like that. I hate to say it, it's more of they label themselves as born again, which I know born again who is not like that. They're just Christian, that say they know everything, and they also use Bill does some of the phrases and stuff that you would find in Judaism and I'm trying to remember what
Messianic faith.
They're called, but yes, thank you, Messianic Jews. They use a lot of that language that you find, And just because somebody dresses like one doesn't mean they are one. I mean, I can dress like a Mormon. I can dress like a slut. I can dress like Bill Clinton. Doesn't make me so. I mean, I know a lot of people who are religious that wear things that make them look stuffy and uptight, kind of like what she's wearing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did comment, well, she dresses like one, but
Yeah. So
I can
all
dress
right.
like
Well,
a
I got
virgin.
a couple of good.
Sorry.
I got a couple of good screenshots of her. I'll have to do something with those.
Well, I can't wait to see him. That's for sure.
And I can't wait to see Loki's video. That's gonna be
Oh, this is gonna be
hilarious.
Yeah, it's just me sitting down and actually getting it finished. I'm actually writing out a script for this one, okay? Because I don't want to be stumbling.
Wow. Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
gonna
I
make it
think
look professional.
yeah, right. I mean, I think some videos it's okay to do a script with. Like when I first started out on YouTube, I like wrote out like the whole like what I was going to say script. And then I've done some videos. It really depends too. Like if I have one that I have to cite a lot of sources for or repeat something, I'll write that all out. But for the most part, some of the videos I just kind of like write like a one-word sentence so I know, oh, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to talk about that, and then record it that way. But if I'm just doing like a rant, like I'm just talking about something, I'll just talk. I don't really have I won't have a script or anything. But it definitely does help. All right. Well, this was fun.
I can't believe we made it to the end of part 2. That was really something. Like,
Yeah, that was painful. So, but we got through it. We got one more hour. We got one more. We got part 3 of hers. And then we'll be.
I think I might need cigarettes and booze for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. So that was fun. Any last comments?
bookmarks and write bigger.
Yes, please. Yes. So let's see. Well, thanks all for being in the chat today. We had the usual suspects: Moat, Cece, Robert, Travis. Who else? Oh yeah, Kawaii's Witch was in here for a little while. Mitch was in here for a while. So all right, all. Well, thanks. Thanks to the chat. You all have a good night. Thank you, Dorian. Thank you, Loki.
It was a pleasure. Can't wait to see you guys next week.
Yes. See you all next week. Good night.
Good night.
All right, later. Night, everyone.